Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. And for you watch lovers out there, today I want to share with you guys another watch. Now, this is by a company that I've worked with in the past many times on several different watches. And this is Neymar, or Neymar. I'm not really sure how you say it, but they make a great quality watch for a great price point. So the watch I want to share with you guys today is their Tudor Black Bay Homage or Homage watch, or what I like to call just like inspired watch. You know, and this is it right here. Let me just show you guys real quick here, give you guys an idea of what this bad boy looks like. Let's talk a little bit about this. Now, I've reviewed one of these in the past, which is a great watch, and I like this so much I picked up a second. Now, guys, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of INVICTA, but I have a lot of different watches in my collection. And I have to tell you, lately, and I know a lot of guys in the past have said, oh, well, your taste will change. And I do say tastes change and styles change. My taste in watches have not changed. I love them all. So, you know, I'm not going to stop wearing big watches. I still enjoy INVICTA. I still enjoy Aragon. But I like to have a huge variety. Like I've said before in many videos, I don't always wear a big giant Sea Hunter or a Sub Aqua or a Venom when I'm sitting around watching TV. Now, if I wore one for the day and I still have it on, of course I'm going to wear it. But if I know that I'm just kind of lounging around the house, I know I'm not really going anywhere, I'm not going to a casino, going out to dinner, you know, I will tend to gravitate more towards my smaller watches. Again, they're never going to get the same, I guess, attention you get wearing smaller watches, but everybody likes something different. And ultimately, you should always wear a watch based on what really makes you happy. And I love getting a compliment, don't get me wrong. I got a compliment on my Bursigar or Pagani design, you know, Submariner, was a crystal rainbow bezel the other day, which I was surprised because a lot of times the smaller watches don't really get noticed, but I like all watches. So what I like about this one here is I have many different, and let's just talk about, again, I want to mention homage watches. Basically that word means to pay respect to. I don't know where that word came from or how it, you know, how it evolved, but it seems to be a word to refer to, in my opinion, watches that are copies of other brands out there, other styles, but it's a way of saying, oh, it's a homage. It's, I think, a kind of a classier way to kind of just say it's a fake. You know, now fakes, here's the difference. In my opinion, when it comes to homage, however you want to say it, or fakes actually have the branding. So fake is basically a one-to-one copy, and I don't mean one-to-one as far as like duplicating every, like the movement. There are differences, of course, but you know, they're basically trying to duplicate a watch 100% and pawn it off as the real watch. Now, again, I don't really care. I don't have any negative feelings about that. I have a few, you know, that I've got over the years. I just feel like now there's so many different brands out there that you can get that look like, for instance, my Royal Oak watch I did, like, let me just go off on a second. One guy was like, it's not a homage because it doesn't have a Swiss movement. Guys, a homage is basically, again, paying respect to. These watches are supposed to be paying respect to this one here, to the, what is it, the Tudor Black Bay. There's no respect being paid. I think that the word is kind of being used out of context. You know, I understand that it's, again, a nice way. This watch, they were like, we want to make a watch to pay respect to the Black Bay. No, they made a watch because it's a popular style, because people are buying the Black Bay, people are buying these different watches, and people don't maybe like that style and want something that they don't have to spend, you know, $3,800 on. So they basically make copies, and that's what these are. They're copies of expensive watches without actually copying the branding and making it illegal. To the best of my knowledge, and I'm not a lawyer, but styles are not copyrighted. You can basically make a watch that looks exactly like another watch and change the name on it, and it'll give you the same look, the same feel, everything, but it just doesn't say Rolex or doesn't say Tudor. And again, I think Rolex and Tudors are ripoffs. That's just my opinion. Not saying they're not good watches, not saying I don't appreciate them. Just for me, I like my price point really sub $100, max $300. I have watches that are more expensive, but a lot of those were partnership agreements, and I love them. Don't get me wrong, but you know, there's so many different homage watches out there. Why would you buy the real deal? I mean, but again, if you like it, that's all that matters. Ultimately, buy what makes you happy. Great. You know, I was wearing this one the other day, I mentioned in my other video, in Walmart. You know, bagging up the groceries there, and some girls, oh, is that a Rolex? That's beautiful. I was like, no. And then I was thinking to myself, see, Why bother having a Rolex when somebody's going to assume it is anyway? People are either going to assume the watch you're wearing that is a copy or a homage. They're going to assume it's a Rolex from a distance without getting up and seeing the branding. When people look at your watch, they're like, oh, they give it a quick look. They're not like getting under there with their jeweler's loop, right? They're not doing that. So again, always buy what you like, wear what you like. I'm just giving you guys my opinion. I would never spend that on a watch unless I was filthy, disgusting rich, and I was really just buying it to have the name. I mean, that's really it. Because people are going to look at it and be like, oh, it's a Rolex, you know? I mean, they may not say it like I just said it. Not sure why I actually said it like that, but it's a Rolex. But you know, I mean, really, why spend the money, in my opinion? So again, Tudor Black Bay homage or copy. I like to say inspired by, right? But really what it is just they're copying a Tudor Black Bay. It's a popular watch and people buy them, and so Neymar basically does that. They're one of the companies out there who makes copies of watches without infringing on the name. So you can buy it on Amazon for 170 bucks rather than spend, you know, 300. So let's talk about what you get. So this one here, the reason I chose this is because when you go, if you're looking for a watch that, if we want to agree that it is a homage, right? And that's just, I guess, the standard name for what you call a copy that's not infringing on the name, my opinion. But the first one you see is their red, it's their Black Bay. It's reference number M7923OR. Or sorry, 0R-0012. That's a mouthful, right? So it's a 41 millimeter case, and the Neymar is a 41.5. So pretty close. It probably has something to do with maybe the size of the movement in here. I believe this one here in the Neymar is your Seiko NH35, but I got to double check that actually just to make sure, because it's been a while. So I actually looked at it. I just know what it is, so I just bought it. But okay, so Seiko NH35 automatic movement. You have 24 jewels, so you know you're getting a reliable, trusted workhorse movement. Neymar uses that in most of their watches, if not all their watches. And the reason I chose this one again, because right when you go to the website, the Tudor website, the very first watch you see is the red bezel version. Now I saw a few other guys review this watch, and some of them were like, oh, it's more like a purple bezel. And that was kind of like, I was like, ooh, I don't know, because I really wanted something that was like more that maroon red. It's not a bright red. When you go to the actual Amazon listing for this, I think the color they're showing you is, they refer to it as red, but I think the color is pretty honest as far as what you're getting. I was expecting purple based on what that guy said, but I can tell you it's not a bright red. It's more of a maroon, and I can see why he said that it was more of like, it has a purple hue to it. When I look at it from a distance, I see red. I would again go with more of like a maroon than I would a purple, but I can definitely see that it has sort of a, there is kind of a pearl, not a pearl, there is sort of a purplish kind of color. It's starting to approach more of like a raspberry, I would say, because raspberry kind of has sort of a purple hue. So again, guys, it's not your bright red. It's a different red, and what I like about it is that it's not your bright Coca-Cola red. And again, that this, when you think of Tudor Black Bay, and if you like watches like me, and again, they make different colors, of course, but I like this color combo. I didn't have anything in this color combo, and I wanted to get one. And I know Neymar is a great brand. I have many Neymar watches, and this is just a fantastic looking watch. Different than anything I have. Again, I have lots of, and when we compare, when we start talking about, Rolex Submariner inspired watches, and now we're talking about this being a, if this wasn't a Tudor, or if Tudor didn't make this watch, you'd be saying that Tudor, if Tudor wasn't owned by Rolex and Tudor wasn't its own thing, people would be saying that, oh, well, if it was just like a micro brand company, oh, Tudor makes homage watches. Because when you look at this compared to a Rolex Submariner, we can honestly say this is a homage to a Submariner, right? It's not a Black Bay, it's a Submariner homage, right? Or Submariner copy. The only thing different is they changed the crown, the styling, the case, the bracelet, it's all very similar. Now, I will say that the only difference on this one here that's a real, that really stands out to me that they didn't duplicate is the Tudor version of this, or the actual Tudor Black Bay, has what they call their riveted steel bracelet. And it's hard to see based on the pictures, but it looks to be that each link on the side has sort of like an end plate that's riveted. So I'm not, again, I don't know much about it. I've never felt one in my hands. I've never seen one up close and personal. But I mean, if you're looking for something that's very similar looking and shares this color, which I think I've never seen anybody else making this color, this kind of like, again, kind of raspberry red sort of color on that black face. I think this is just a killer combo. It looks nice. It's a great quality watch. Again, Neymar on par with your Pro Diver, Reserve, Aragons, Bulova, Citizens, all those, you know, mainstream brands. And without arguing, you know, I know a lot of people, when I go saying that something like this would be on par with a Rolex, people be like, oh, you're crazy. But honestly, for what I see, what you get for with a, you know, those higher end top tier brands, yeah, maybe you're getting a much more refined, more of a, I guess, more hands involved in making it. I don't know. Again, you make your own decision whether you think spending $3,800 is worth it on a watch, and if it is, then by all means go buy it. For me, I'm really happy with $170 and what you get. A lot of people out there will say that the Neymar brand, that they don't like the name, I guess because I don't know if it's some kind of sports figure. I don't know. People are funny. People are, you know, I don't know who the guy is. I've never even heard of the guy before the brand. I only read that. To me, it doesn't bother me at all. I just feel like a brand is a brand, and I'm more interested in what you're getting for your money. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of times the names aren't always, I guess, the most attractive. Like, I think Invicta is a great name. Aragon, I think is better than when they said Android. Bulova, I think, is a pretty cool name. Their logo, you know, it doesn't really matter to me. BLWRX, Neymar, Bolin Watchworks, Delta T. I mean, you're going to have a name on a watch. I guess, I'm not sure why they chose that. I guess if I was picking a name for a watch, I would try to make something so different than anything out there where it was really its own thing. But, you know, a lot of times with these companies, they make things, they're not too familiar with everything that Americans are going to complain and bitch about. So, you know, let's face it, Americans complain and bitch about everything. Again, and sometimes, you know, legitimate. But for me personally, a watch, like it, buy it. You don't like it, then if the name bothers you, don't buy it. That's all I can tell you. There's lots of other brands out there you can buy and find something that's really just going to make you happy. So it does have a helium release valve on the side, screw down crown, again inspired by the Black Bay. Very similar in how the crown kind of sticks out, almost like on a pedestal. Unidirectional rotating bezel. I saw a few guys review this online, and I'm not going to name any names because honestly I can't remember at the moment. This bezel, it clicks into place like any other watch I have by Invicta, by Aragon. It's good quality watch. When I've compared bezels on Rolexes, I don't feel any difference between the bezel on this and a Rolex. When I compare it to my Aqua Dive for $2,000, the bezel turns on both watches really nice. One's a little different than the other. This one's a little bit harder to turn, but is that a bad thing? Does that mean one's better than the other? I don't think so. I think it's just personal preference. The pip on this does line up perfectly, which is more than you can say for some Rolex watches out there. It's got just a standard 316L stainless steel bracelet, not screws, but there are push pins, which is standard. Dual deploy push button clasp, again, something you don't see a lot on Invictus. But you are starting to, again, for the price point here, on par with your Pro Diver. I do like the bracelet better on this, just because of that dual push button deployment. You do have micro adjustments on the bracelet as well. Standard Neymar, just plain case back with the Neymar branding on it. Neymar on the clasp. Some other knuckleheads out there will be like, oh, one thing I don't like about the Pro Diver, all the branding. Well, you know, if you compare a standard watch like this with any brand, Tudor, whatever, branding is usually on several places on a watch. You have it on the face, you have it on the back of the watch. And again, don't come back and be like, oh, no, this watch. I know there's different watches out there, different branding, but most watches that I own, that I've seen, Rolex included, you have in Tudor, I can't say that I don't see the back on this. Tudor has it on the clasp. You're going to have branding on most watches on the clasp, on the back, on the face, and Invicta goes ahead and throws it on some of their watches on the side. Okay, and some people are like, oh God, some guys are talking about, oh, you know, well, here I saw a guy remove that. Does that really, you're buying an $80 watch to go and put it on a wheel and try to grind that down? Just buy a different brand. Don't buy it. Buy Neymar. And if you don't like the name, don't buy it. That's really what it comes down to. Don't be trying to worry about customizing and doing all this crap. Buy it like it. So, all right, so what do you get with this? You get a sapphire crystal, you get an NH35 automatic movement. As far as sizing on this here, it's 41.5 millimeters by 50 millimeters. That's from lug to lug, I believe. 316L stainless steel, 120 click unidirectional bezel. It says here that the water resistance is 300 meters, and you have Swiss BGW9 blue luminescence on the hands. I will say, lume on this is better than your Invicta Pro Divers for sure, and most of your Invicta watches. Invicta's never been great on their lume. I don't really give a shit, but if that is important to you, better lume than on your Pro Diver. But keep in mind, for this, you're going to be paying $176 for this watch. You know, that's almost twice the price of 2 Pro Divers. And I do feel like the quality is on par. Now, you can get a few different colors. You can get it in the same watch like this in green, the green kind of OD green bezel. For you military guys out there, you might like that. You can get it in the rose tone, my other watch, rose tone and silver. With the black face, you get it in just your standard all black bezel, black face, blue on blue. They have a black on black with more of like a gold color indices and markers on the bezel. It does appear to have an aluminum insert on the bezel. Blue face, black bezel, two-tone yellow, gold, and silver. And then you can get it in the two-tone yellow, gold, silver with the gold face as opposed to the black. That's really about it. 22 millimeter band width. What else? That's really about it here. And again, your helium release valve and your day of the month indicator there. No Cyclops, which, you know, take it or leave it. I don't really, I guess when I buy a watch, I'm just not really looking for every, like I don't really have a preference when it comes to these kinds of things. What in the hell? It's like I'm hearing things. So anyway, guys, it's personal preference. Always buy what you like. Always enjoy what you like. Be respectful of other people's opinions, and you know. But you know, I did get into a little bit of a back and forth about Homage the other day, and I am gonna do a full video on it. You know, Homage. I just don't feel like that word is really an honest word when it comes to watches like this. It's just a nice way of saying that. Oh, it's a fake. I mean, really, a fake. You have homages and designer inspired was another way they refer to fakes. Oh, designer inspired. It's really a fake. This is faking a Tudor Black Bay without actually infringing on the copyright so you can sell it in the United States. That's it. I'm sure there's other brands out there who make watches that are similar to the Black Bay and Rolex, all these different brands that say Tudor. I'm sure you can find them. You know, go to sites like if you're looking for them, if that's something you want. DHgate, AliExpress. I'll put links to those websites in the description. You're going to get them overseas. Again, never been something I've really... I just feel like there's so many cool brands out there with legitimate names. It's just personal preference. So let's go ahead and throw in the wrist. Again, a couple different price points on there. I think you can get a couple different variations. Forgot to mention, guys. For, let's see, 176. They might have upped the price. Yeah, so the blue face a little bit cheaper, 160. Black on black, 160. So so just click the link in the description. You can pick the color you want. But it's a fantastic watch, great quality. And I think, again, if you like the styling, which I use that word a little bit loosely because I just, when I, you know, look at watches that are simple like this, I just don't, they're simple watches. You know, they're not meant to be, I don't think personally that these are very stylish. I think they're just clean is the best word for it. So let's go ahead and throw it on the wrist. Again, I obviously like the watch. I bought it, but I just want that be very clear with that. These are great watches if you're looking for something that's more, I would say, you know, again, you get the automatic movement, sapphire crystal. You know, some people, oh man, I wish it had a sapphire. You know, I don't know if it really makes a difference. I know they're on paper. Yeah, sapphire is more scratch resistant. I get that, but I've never personally scratched any watch. So acrylic bezels, flame fusion, Cristerna, whatever it is, hardlex. I've never scratched any bezels. So, ooh, it's nice looking though, isn't it? So, all right, so 7-inch wrist, 170 pounds, about 5'7". This is what this bad boy looks like on a guy my size, my height, and my weight. It's a great color combo. I mean, it's just, I love the fact that it's still pretty simple. You know, you get that black face, but it really makes that bezel pop. And I think that's why a lot of watches like your you know, your Submariners and your Tudors. You know, I believe that a lot of times when, you know, it's okay for Rolex to refer to all their watches as cartoon characters, but God forbid Invicta should do it, right? Then it's one idiot, one fat troll said that they, you know, I don't know if they're happy. These things should be in a Happy Meal or not. You know, absolutely ridiculous. What should be in a Happy Meal? Obviously, he's pretty familiar with what, and I'm not gonna name. You guys know who I'm talking about. Obviously, he's very familiar with Happy Meals by how fat he is. And again, I don't mean to be a dick, but you know, this guy takes shots at plenty of people who likes everything that he doesn't like. So fuck him, right? So anyway, you know, it's again, this, you know, what will we call this? What would Rolex call this watch? Coke, Pepsi, now Hulk, Kermit, you know, Batman, Superman. What would we call this? We'd call this like, how about the strawberry shortcake? You know what I mean? So anyway, all joking aside, I mean, it's a great looking watch. Like I said, I love the way that the face looks. I love the way the indices are nice and bright in your face. They're nice and bold, very legible. You know, not that I care, but very legible on the back of the watch. I mean, it's just a clean watch. I love the color. If it was a red bezel, I probably wouldn't have got this one, but just that kind of cool, deeper red, that nice maroon. And again, I kind of say it's more like a raspberry colored is really the best way to describe the color of this bezel. It's sleek, it's clean, and I absolutely love it. So guys, click the link in the description, check it out. Let me know what you guys think. I'm always curious to hear what you guys think of these different watches I share and review. You know, like I said, guys, this is a hobby. There's something out there for everyone. Whatever you decide to buy, wear it in good health, enjoy it. Be respectful of other people's opinions, what they like. I like all watches, and again, I know I pick on different brands. I don't dislike brands. I just feel like some brands are just kind of a ripoff, and that's okay to say because you're not really insulting the wearer. You're not insulting the brand. I think those brands are awesome. If I was filthy rich, right, I'd have one of everything because I'm a watch guy. I love watches, so what can I say? So this is definitely one for the collection. Check it out. Let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever. I'm always here to help. Email address is in the description of every video. So is the link to the products. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell to be notified anytime I upload a new video. And that's it, guys. Have a good evening. Take care.